What's up, y'all? Week 3, Conscious Sports Talk. We didn't do no, recap from last week. A lot of busyness going on, but I thought I had a horrible record, but I was 8-8. So, yeah. First week 9-6, second week 8-8. I think at the end of the season we just accumulate the whole record, so it's alright. I don't want to go 500, but at least I wasn't below it, so that's pretty good. All right, so the first game is Baltimore versus the Jaguars. I love the Jaguars. They jerseys, the wide receivers, the quarterback, the running back, the defensive acquisitions they have from the draft, from the free agency. But Baltimore, like I said, I think they might be back. So my gut instinct is to pick Baltimore to win this game. So it's Baltimore versus Jaguars. Next game, Giants versus the Redskins. The sports media, they're gonna hype up the Josh Norman versus Odell Beckham again. And for a second, I think maybe Josh Norman can get in the Odell Beckham head. But I think the Giants, they're not going for none of that. I don't think Odell going for none of that. And he's gonna be playing all over the field. And Victor Cruz is back. Like I said, they got that good young wide receiver, Sterling Shepard from Oklahoma. So I like the Giants. I like the Giants over the Redskins. Next game, Lions versus the Packers. I'm going with the Lions. The Packers, I thought they were going to do what they were supposed to do last week to the Vikings, but, it is what it is. The Lions, I feel like they're due for a win. They're on 2, and I love their offense. And I feel like it's time that they step up and get the W against the NFC North rival. Next game, Browns versus Dolphins. I'm picking the Browns over the Dolphins. I feel like it's time for Hugh Jackson and Cleveland to get their first win. They're 0-2. The Dolphins, like I said, they're a decent team. They have a decent quarterback. I love Javon Landry, I can't forget his LaRon Landry. Excuse me, wherever his name is. But he's a beast at returner and receiver. But I feel like, Hugh Jackson got some tricks up his sleeve, and it's time for them to get the W. At least one W. Next game, Panthers versus the Vikings. We see AP go down. We see Teddy Bridgewater go down. At the same time, I still have a feeling like the Vikings can win that game. But I put Carolina lose last week to the 49ers, and that was a stupid pick. And so I'm not picking Cam Newton to lose again, not to the Vikings, even though I love their defense. I love the Vikings defense, but I'm picking Cam Newton and the Panthers to get that ball rolling again, to be dominant. Next game, Bengals over Broncos. At first, earlier this week, I missed the Bengals game last week versus Steelers, and that's the number one game to watch as a Cincinnati Bengals fan. I missed that game, sorry, but I had business to do. But for a minute, I'm thinking in my head like, man, we losing to Pittsburgh. How we gonna beat Broncos? The Broncos got Von Miller, Shane Ray, Marcus Ware. They got all these dudes coming off the edge, and they got 290 overall corners playing. If you play man, you know what I'm talking about. Talib and Harris, you know what I'm saying. They got 2 good safeties, and great D linemen. What we gonna do? How is we gonna score? But the Bengals is playing at home. They playing in the jungle, and I feel like with the rookie quarterback that they have for the Broncos, or not rookie, but second year, maybe third year, young guy, that we can get some turnovers, and make it a close game and pull out the W. So I'm picking the Bengals over the Broncos. Next game, Bills versus the Cardinals. I had the Cardinals losing last week, and once again, I got the Cardinals losing this week. I love the Cardinals on paper. I love, the wide receiver, all they wide receivers. I love their defense. The Honey Badger, all them boys. Even that linebacker Buchanan who used to play safety. I love what they're doing. It's Carson Palmer. I just don't like Palmer. He's a beast, though. He can throw that ball beautiful, but I'm picking Tyrod Taylor and them to get their W, man. Get their first, man, for the season, because it's about time they handle their business. Next game, Titans versus the Raiders. I got a star next to that game. Me and my boy on the camera, Mr. Corday Murray, he think the Raiders going to win that game, but I'm going with the Titans. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be a great game. We got the 2 young future franchises going against each other. Raiders, David Carr, Cooper, running back Murray. They got Khalil Mack on the defense. But I feel like the Titans run game, and I told y'all about Tajay Sharp. He's solid. They got a good tight end too, and Walker, and Mariota. I'm just picking their run game in there and that opportunity to milk the clock and trick plays with Mariota and so forth to pull that win out. So I'm picking the Titans over the Raiders. Next game is the Buccaneers versus the Rams. The Rams beat the Seahawks last week, and I had the Seahawks winning, and I said that should be an easy win, and clearly I was wrong. But I just don't see the Rams winning back-to-back, and I don't see the Buccaneers getting blown out or losing back-to-back after they just got destroyed by Carson Palmer and those boys last week. So I'm going with Jameis Winston and them to beat this game, to beat the Rams. Next game, Seahawks over 49ers. I had the 49ers winning last week to the Panthers, which was stupid, and I had the Seahawks beating the Rams. And I feel like the Seahawks, they're not about to lose 2 games in a row. And if I got to say something next week about them losing 2 weeks in a row, I'm going to be pissed. So it's time for y'all to step up. You know, they got the Legion of Boom back there. I know Russell banged up. They running backs iffy, but I like their running backs, man. I like their wide receiver. I like their whole squad and Pete Carroll. So come on, Seahawks. Let's pull this one out. Pittsburgh over or versus the Eagles. I told you what my score was. It's Pittsburgh. I have Pittsburgh beating the Eagles. But if Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles pull this win out, granted they are at home, but they are in the state of Pennsylvania. But if the Eagles beat Pittsburgh, I mean, what does that tell you about motherfucking Andy Dalton? I mean, shit. I'm just keeping it real. Excuse my language, but if Carson Wentz looks, you know, better than Andy Dalton looked last week, then it's time for A.J. McCarron. So, but I'm picking the Pittsburgh to beat the Eagles. That needs to happen. So, next game is Jets versus the Chiefs. I got the Jets beating the Chiefs. The Jets look like, I tell you what, they looking like AFC conference type of team. They looking like Super Bowl contenders. You know, I heard them talking about the Patriots might go undefeated, but the Patriots haven't played the Jets yet, and they're going to play them twice this year. And the Jets gave the Bengals a lot of trouble week 1. I'm loving Brandon Marshall and Jalen Marshall from Ohio State. I don't know why he got undrafted. He was a dog in college, even though, I mean, he was just a sophomore RS. But come on, dude is a return machine, and they got all those receivers and Decker, and so they looking good. The defense, you know, the run game with Forte, even Fitzpatrick looking good this year. That's going to be a good game. I mean, a good team for the whole season. But I'm going with the Jets over the Chiefs. In my opinion, that's an easy win for them. Colts versus the Chargers. I'm going with the Colts. Andrew Luck, he had a decent game last week against the Broncos. The Chargers, they looking solid, though. They looking real solid this year. But I'm going with the Colts. I'm going with Andrew Luck to say, you know, all right, we just got beat by the Broncos, but it's time to get a W this week. Last 2 games, Cowboys versus the Bears. I'm going with Dallas Cowboys. I'm not picking the Bears anymore after what they done did these last couple weeks. So, yeah, I'm going with my boy from Ohio State, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, excuse me for forgetting his name, and Dez Bryant and all those boys. I'm liking that team right now. I'm really and I never liked the Cowboys, but I'm feeling them right now. Last game, I feel like this is a garbage game to watch. I'm just keeping it honest, and it's the Falcons versus the Saints Monday Night Football. I'm gonna watch it because it's probably gonna be the only thing on TV, but I'm going with the Falcons. And it's simply for the offense. They got 2 good running backs. They got Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu looking good for the Falcons. Saints got good receivers too. Brandon Cooks and Snead and what have you. They got some good pass rushers, but I don't feel like no one can cover Julio Jones. So if he just let him and just throw like 5 deep balls, and if he get 3 of them, all right, then you know what's up. So that's week 3 for Conscious Sports Talk. It's Brandon Sewell, and peace and love, y'all.